Welcome to Web Manga, and this is part 2 of What If Deku was the Flash. And I've been really wanting to do this video, and I know it's only been like a few days, but I just thought of a whole bunch of ideas for like this episode. I just decided to do it now. So, we're starting off with season 3, and we're going to go up to season 4, so spoilers for season 4, and after this we're going to go on to the manga. So, well, all the students are just about to go to their training at the training camp like normal, but something went up during the time that over the night a few hero agencies had been destroyed overnight. It had almost been like they were decayed, like Shigaraki's quirk, but it was way too fast. And people mentioned that there was people who were there noticed that it seemed like there was a red flash of lightning. If you guys know anything about a character from the Flash who I'm referencing now, I'll explain later in the video who this is, but I hope you guys understand, like, if you know the Flash abilities and all that, and one of Flash's most infamous villains, you know who I'm talking about. So, they keep going on, and the people are just, this is all over the news, how, like, these heroes agencies were just destroyed, as if it didn't exist. So, the students go to the training camp. Everything's basically the same. Bakugo goes the flame test and explodes the thing. Then it just goes through the whole thing, except minus Ida. And I had his name before. Never mind. The brainwashing guy is there, so right now he's trying to work on controlling more than one person and trying to get the people who he's brainwashing to do more than one thing. So, to do more complicated things. So, it goes through basically the same, and then, on the night that the League of Villains would have shown up, a portal opens up in the training grounds. And out comes a being clothed in red lightning. This lightning is just going all over the place, looking for someone. And eventually, he does find them. Everybody's all gathered together, just about to draw, when he shows up. He automatically disintegrates Tiger, and we see who it is. Shigaraki, clothed in red lightning. His eyes just sparking with it. His hair's really long, and also he's laughing maniacally, saying, "Oh, so good to see you all again. Oh, but it's been a while since I've seen you guys. Oh, I could kill you all right now, and that would save a lot of problems in the future, but no, I'm going to destroy you all later. But you," as he points to Buck, "you are coming with me. Oh, you're going to be fun. You're going to help me out greatly." And also, like, at this point, like, Aizawa is gone, and, like, Pixie Bob and, like, and the telepathic girl are trying to, like, deal with Shigaraki, and he just says, "What pains are you?" and just disintegrates them immediately. And, like, Shigaraki looks older than the last time we saw him. Shigaraki, I think, is about, like, 20-something, and in his early 20s, but right now we see Shigaraki as he's seen in this point. He looks like he's like early 30s, late 20s, like, really, like, in that time frame, and he just destroys, like, Pixie Bob and those guys. And And instead of like season 4 and all that, in season 4 we get all that, like Shigaraki has already like has already made this series really much more darker. You don't need Overhaul, you need this Shigaraki. And Shigaraki just grabs Bakugo and just gets out of there. Deku tries running after him. And like Shigaraki says, "Ooh, you wanna come after me, boy? You're not ready yet. I can't wait to find and rip you up. You're not ready yet. I'm gonna destroy you. But it wouldn't be as much fun yet." And he turns around and just kicks Deku's butt and just knocks him to the ground. He doesn't harm him at all. He just knocks him to the ground, beats him up, and just leaves with Bakugo. And that's it. We're down 3 pussycats, and Aizawa didn't even know. No students were harmed. It's just like Shigaraki just showed up and eliminated 3 heroes. So like, the reason why Shigaraki's quirk is so powerful is if you've read the manga. Spoilers for the manga, but Shigaraki in the manga has awakened his quirk, and which allows him to disintegrate in every object. And it is pretty good. Pretty impressive, his fully realized quirk. And this is, and with Shigaraki's ability, with his new Speed Force abilities, because if you didn't guess, Shigaraki is this world's version of the Reverse Flash. So that's the reason why he's like this, because he has the ability of the Speed Force. That is cool. So like a whole bunch of people like gear up and plan on getting Bakugo back. Like nobody's been injured, like, and like Deku and like the main cast except for Ida. But Shinso is his name. Shinso joins the group trying to free Bakugo. No wait, right. I forgot that without the attack on the League of Villains, never mind. It's just, everybody stays home. Everybody just stays home. And like, we see this older Shigaraki go to the League of Villains base, where he brings not only Bakugo, but Stain. Because this Shigaraki was able to recruit Stain to join the League of Villains. And because the only reason that Stain didn't join the League of Villains in the first place was because of Shigaraki's conviction. This Shigaraki has absolute conviction. He is going to destroy Hero Society. Whoa. And like Stain is just like, this new Shigaraki, like the whole hero thing just tries to get like Bakugo back. Like they go through all that. All Might is there. All these heroes, and plus All Might does still have the original One for All. So that's okay. That's pretty good. So, and he doesn't have like a 2-hour time limit. He still like has his 3 hours. So, and in this, and also, there's a lot more Nomu here. No, there's at least one mid-tier Nomu that's in. One mid-tier Nomu, and it's just like all these other. It's just like, although when the heroes attack, there's a green flash that shows up and just kicks. Like when All for One shows up, there's like Stain, Shigaraki, Kurogiri, and All for One. Those are the only people out of there, and they're able to hold their own. And like the future Shigaraki. But a kick to the side of the jaw of Shigaraki's jaw just kicks him to the side, and we see future Deku. Deku has really, this is like an older version of Shigaraki, older version of Deku, older than we ever seen him. And like we see, he just like kicks Reverse Flash Shigaraki, gets him out of there, gets Bakugo out of there, and just leaves it, joins All Might and Endeavor. It's these three versus All Might versus the others. Like, and it's like, you don't, like, nobody is really, there's no savior team from UA, so everybody's just safe at home, and it's just like, it's an awesome battle, and we see like Deku using the Speed Force unlike anything we've seen before. He's shooting lightning bolts from his body, just really from like throwing it, kicking it, and Shigaraki is just going mental. We see their speed. It's just like 1 second they're here, oh, one there. It looks like it's just like making after images. They're going so fast. And each time they're going back and forward saying, "Ooh, how about you and I? Let us have a duel. Let us have a fight, little one." Nah, it wouldn't be like that. I don't know what this would be like. But they're just going back and forth until Shigaraki does a jerk move. He runs away and brings back Uraraka, knowing that Deku has a crush on Uraraka, and just showing up with Uraraka. And it's just like, reveal your face or I kill her. Show people the extent of your abilities. Like, Deku just takes off his mask, and we see that, like, Deku has, like, this scar across his face. Like, this burn mark, like Shigaraki. Like, it looks like Shoto's burn mark, except, yeah, I'm gonna go with a similar... I just think that this older version of Deku should, like, have a scar on his face, like a slice mark, or, like, something, like a burn from, like, Dobby, or, like, a slice from, like... just like a scar on his face, and it's just like Deku's hair is shorter. It's just, Deku should look like he's been in way more battles. He looks way more experienced, and like Deku does try doing multiple different things, like popping into portals and coming out other sides. And for 1 second, it looks like they're, and then Deku uses a technique where he makes 5 Dekus. And they all go after Shigaraki, and Shigaraki just destroys these ones. And this technique is called, what's it called? Time Remnant. He creates time remnants to deal with Shigaraki, but Shigaraki just destroys these time remnants. And it's just like, this battle goes on forever. We get to see All Might versus All For One, and we get to see like a combo battle between Endeavor and the current Shigaraki. It's just like, it's an all-out fight. And it's just like, news everywhere are trying to quantify this. And you can only imagine what Deku's doing when he's looking at himself, an older version of himself, fighting alongside All Might. He might have passed out by this point. And just like, Deku does get Uraraka and Bakugo out of there. Eventually, Shigaraki starts blipping out of existence. And Deku says, "Ha! It seems like you're not stabling. Looks like you're gonna have to leave." And Reverse Flash, Shigaraki says, "This won't be the end of it," and just gets out of there. Like then Adult Flash Deku grabs both Uraraka and Bakugo, gets them away, and then gets back to the battle to try to stop All For One. All For One gets Shigaraki the fuck out of there, but the news transports Stain's ideology. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Stain gets like all out there, like saying, "You heroes, the only one who could truly be a hero is All Might, the true he's just like pissing his pants, seeing these true symbols of peace and these true evil beings. These ideology, he's like saying, these are the beings these are true heroes and true villains. No one should question them. They are the true heroes, they are the true villains. And then it just goes through all the normal, and then after that, and like Uraka's crush on Deku that she had at the beginning, that is multiplied by 10, because she sees how badass, like, early 20s Deku can be. Like, he's wrecking everything. Now, what's next? Oh yeah, it's also in this fight, All For One is still defeated, but like Shigaraki and Stain and Kurogiri are all out of there. So that's good. So and then it's just like Stain is twice on board, like seeing all this type of stuff, and because of that, we just got new members of the League of Villains. We got every new member of the League of Villains. We got Mustard, we got Muscular, we got the current cast, and in fact, let's see, like the whole League of Villains has like multiplied like rabbits. That's how that's worked. Now let me see. We get on to the My Hero. Also, we see, since Deku, he's like looked at his future version and how he fought, and has been incorporating it into his new fighting style, which the older Deku has been using his legs for combat more efficiently, and has shot lightning out of his legs, which is another flash ability. So let's see, and he also used phasing quite a bit to avoid like Shigaraki's attacks. And it's just like, Deku has been doing a whole lot of stuff. Like he went to the hero license exam, and it all happened basically the same. He went through the whole thing, but the same events happened throughout the whole thing. The same events. So like Toga does show up at the thing, since she has her quirk, since she would have joined the League of Villains by this point. Now let's see, what's the next chapter? I think, there wouldn't have been the Bakugo versus Midoriya fight, since there wouldn't have been any tension between them. Well, there would have still been tension, but Bakugo wouldn't have figured out that Deku had one for all, since he technically didn't. So there wouldn't be that fight. So we got like twice as monologue at the end of the series. And plus we get to figure out, and this is our first introduction to Twice. Like we get every member of the League of Villains. Plus like Stain. And then we get introduced to Season 4. And we get to see all the stuff happens in like Season 4. And Overhaul does destroy the magnetic guy. He dies, poor shame. And then, although by that point, when Shigaraki and Overhaul's group does make a truce, Shigaraki is actually being told has met his future version of himself, telling him, "Don't worry about this fucker. The heroes will deal with him. You can just get your revenge on him." Like future Shigaraki is always showing up and like teaching Shigaraki how to be a better version of himself. Well, to be an eviler version of himself. That just keeps going on. Now, let me see what's next. Everything goes on except in this universe. Mirako does still lose his powers, and Eri does still go on, since One For All doesn't really go for anything. Oh, and Eri does not have, and I think Deku does defeat Overhaul, but he does it in a very, not okay way. Deku defeats Overhaul by actually going back in time after Overhaul had defeated everybody, going back, defeating Overhaul, all with it, and him becoming like a time remnant, and then like this version, like the Deku who went back in time, where the normal Deku is, he came back, they double teamed Overhaul before he like absorbed his big friend, and then he like defeated that. He fought two Dekus, and Deku, he like used his new lightning ability and just flung it and just electrocuted the whole thing. Like, I don't think Overhaul's quirk works on lightning, so Deku just throws lightning at like kicks lightning at Overhaul and just defeats him. Like two versions, although one version, the one who came back in time, did die. This would have been like Deku, the Deku would have gone back in time and would have helped everybody and then dealt with Overhaul and just wiped him out. And this guy would have known every move that Overhaul would have had. And it's just like Deku realizes about how the extent of his abilities. He's just like, he would like he went back in time, and this would have been like, oh damn, I didn't realize I could go back in time. What's the extent of these powers? That reminded me of the ability from before, like in the battle that when Deku went back in time, like Uraka, Night Eye, Mirio, all these characters would have died, but instead in this timeline, although Mirio still does lose his powers because I think that's still like stakes, so I'm fine with that. Everything still goes on the same, and then we get to then we get like like the sports festival arc, and like Gentle. For Izuku, he would have had a more difficult time trying to bring in Gentle. Although there's still plot lines are the same, trying to make Eri smile. And basically the same thing going on with the heroes, like the heroes billboard arc, which is basically didn't do anything really. They didn't really. There's nothing really to change with Deku, so that's basically it. I think Endeavor would have been like, would be thinking, damn, that Deku's quirk is pretty impressive. I should really want to get my hands on that quirk. I should really want to study his abilities. And if that guy has the same powers as that kid, if they're the same person in time, that would be an amazing person to join to my agency. Like, a whole bunch of heroes are thinking that. Get this guy who literally goes to UA, the best hero school, and who can possibly, in the future, go back in time. Because people will be talking about this, and like, Deku is flooded by this. Like, people are always trying to get, how did you go back in time? What's your quirk? How does it work? And like, Deku doesn't know how this works. So that's basically it for my idea. This is Wave and Banger, and I am signing out.